And we are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by The Keeg, where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. If you don't know, new comic books come out every Wednesday at your local comic shop. Whether it's DC, whether it's Marvel, whether it's indies like Image or Boom Studios or Dynamite or whatnot, all your comics come out in comic shops on Wednesdays. And we're here every single Thursday to talk about everything that came out this week that we could read in 24 hours. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. And if you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or twitch.tv/The Keeg Show. We are really pushing the YouTube right now, as the kids say, the YouTube. So if you are out there watching us live on either of those, like, comment, subscribe, follow, chat. Let us know you're out there, because it's always nice to see everybody who's out there. And then, if you're not watching us live, maybe you're listening to just the audio. That's wherever you get your podcast from. So pick your poison, digest us however you want to do it. But we are glad to have you here. If you're watching us live, you can see who our guests are, And if you're not, you can't see who our guests are. Let me introduce him. He's been on the show many, many times. I can't figure out how long it's been. Do I want to? It's been a couple of years. We got Manny Hondres, a.k.a. Manny Reads Comics. Manny, what's up?
We're going. It's great to be back. Feel like I was just saying, I feel like it's been a while since I last was on the show, but good to be back. I've been reading comics this whole time, though. As my name states, Manny does read comics, so
You
I haven't
do.
missed anything.
You took some time off, but were you taking time off the show, or were you taking time off of reading comics? Have you been keeping up?
So I'm pretty much caught up with everything except everything that I read this week. I feel like I'm lost. I just don't know the characters at all. So hopefully you guys can save me from that and help me out with that.
I mean, that's kind of the point, not only like for each other on this show, we keep each other informed and we fill in the gaps, but also like for anyone watching or listening, we're here to keep them informed also. We got a couple of people in the chat already. We got Dark Jerf saying, tuning in. Time is in. There's some typos going on. Claude, Curly Insane Guy says, Comic Talk, always happy to tune in to the YouTube. Dark Jerf has been excited all week. Excited to watch this live. So welcome. If you guys are out there, again, click like, do your thing. Let us, help us in whatever way you can that doesn't cost you money. So, what were you saying, Manny?
Absolutely. Hopefully we go over some of the books that they want to talk about. So.
Hopefully. I mean, we're running a pretty wide spread. Before I introduce our next guest, I didn't mention comicshoplocator.com. Is this image going to work right? Yeah! I did this thing where it fades in an image. Comicshoplocator.com. Find a comic shop near you, support your local comic shops, and pick up any of the books that we talk about today at your local comic shops. Boom! I'm up in the production quality. I don't know if you guys saw that. If you're watching us live, you just saw that. Introducing our second guest. She has been on the show once before, but this is her first live stream of Comic Talk. Coming at us from Switzerland, we got Deanna, a.k.a. Deanna Kinney. Deanna, what's up?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning for you. You are...
Yeah.
You are...
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
That's crazy. But that's dedication.
That's true.
You read all the comics that you read in a very little amount of time, and then you're up at 2 a.m. Switzerland time to be here on the show. How has it been before the show? Have you had a lot of people to talk about comics with?
Not really. That's why I started social media, because I want to connect with people who have the same interest. It's very hard to find people here.
Yeah. Are there a lot of people in Switzerland that are reading these comics and everything, or?
Not that I know.
Yeah.
Well, at the conventions, it's very central, then you see everybody, but it's so wide. Switzerland, even if it's small, it's still, everything is very far apart.
Yeah.
It's very hard to connect.
Yeah.
And on social media, you're just always on the go. You can always meet new people, connect with them. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, also you should try trying to meet people outside of 2 a.m. I feel like that would help out a lot.
I feel like too.
Yeah.
Like they should make a club just to
Yeah,
meet up.
at 1 a.m. Something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a club, like a comic book club, but then I was like, oh, a club, like a club, but
Yes,
for
yes.
comic books. Okay.
Yeah, like a room to dance, and the other one is like just to chill and read comics.
You could
Yeah.
like
There
you
you
could
go.
like dance with your comics open. I
Yeah,
think
like your
that's a thing.
headphones on, like you dance.
Yeah.
That just brings up like people that read while on the treadmill. I don't know how they do it. I can't read
Yeah.
while on a treadmill.
Well,
Unless
everything
it's
is
audible.
moving. How do you do that?
Some people do. Oh, it's weird, but all right.
I don't know. When I would listen to audiobooks, but I like at most.
Yeah. I Dark Jerf says good morning to you. It's 7 here. Pleasure
In
to
the
see
morning?
this. No, at night. So I mean,
Oh.
I'm assuming Dark Jerf is from Central Time in
Okay.
the U.S. I'm assuming, but who knows? So the purpose of this show is to read as much as we can, and hopefully me and my guests we could talk about, with the combined effort of 3 of us, talk about all the comics that came out this week. Now, obviously, there's no human way possible to read all the comics this week, even across 3 people, but we do our best. I want to know your guys' reading lists for this week, what we're going to talk about on the show, and then we'll eventually get to our picks of the week, because I think that's super important. Who wants to go first?
Ladies first. Deanna?
Okay, sure. Well, my first read was Absolute Batman issue 8. Then I got Batman Robin Jason Todd issue 1, Batman Dark Patterns issue 7. Sorry, I got my computer here, so if you're wondering what I'm looking down, I got my notes. Then Trinity, Wonder Woman issue 1, Batman and Robin issue 22, Supergirl issue 2, Runaways issue 1, and Spider-Girl issue 1.
Nice. That's a good spread, because I pointed out online that you read a lot of Batman, but it wasn't only Batman stuff that you read this week.
No, I try to widen my horizon.
Yeah, I like that. And first issues are really good jumping on points for
Yeah.
And then you figure out whether you want to stick with it or not, of course. But okay, good stuff. Manny, what'd you read?
I read everything that you just listed.
Okay, you got to list it again, because I forget.
You want me to list it again?
Yeah.
I can do it. DC is Absolute Batman number 9.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin 22. Let's go different. I did read Magic number 6 from Marvel Comics. New Champions number 6 from Marvel. One World Under Doom number 5. And then Robin and Batman, Jason Todd number 1. Runaways 1. Spider-Girl 1. And Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman number 1. I usually have indie comics to talk about. I just was not able to get to them this week, but one that I was looking forward to was Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle as well, and Lost Fantasy is on issue 2, and that was just interesting. Hopefully it's good. I haven't read it yet, but hopefully it's good.
All right. We have a lot of overlap with us. Also, there was just a lot of really good comics that came out this week. There was a ton across DC, Marvel, Image and whatnot. There was a ton of really good comics. I didn't get to everything on my list. I even prepped images for comics that I didn't get to. So I also read Absolute Batman number 9. I read Batman Dark Pattern 7, Supergirl number 2, Robin and Batman Jason Todd number 1, Runaways number 1, Spider-Girl number 1, One World Under Doom number 5, Ultimate Black Panther 17, Action Comics 1087, Phoenix number 12, New Avengers number 1, Eddie Brock Carnage number 5, Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga number 1, but it's a one shot, so whatever they number it. DC vs. Vampires World War V number 10, and that's it. But I really wanted to get to Marvel United Pride, um, Green Lantern Corps 5, Death of the Silver Surfer #1 came out this week. And I'm not even a big Silver Surfer fan, but sounds intriguing. And I would need to catch up to do Transformers 21, but I'm a couple issues behind on that one.
Good. Yeah, no. I forgot all about New Avengers coming out this week, so maybe that's another one on my list.
Yeah.
Is it out? Is it close to the movie that just came out? Hopefully, I'm not saying any spoilers or anything like that. But
I mean,
have y'all watched Thunderbolts?
I saw Thunderbolts in theaters. Deanna, I know you're a big DC fan, but do you also watch like MCU movies?
I do. It was what got me into comics in general, like the MCU with the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
He's also my favorite Spider-Man.
He is
But
the
yeah,
best
I
Spider-Man,
also
100%.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody believes me.
He's my mom's favorite Spider-Man. My mom thinks that Andrew Garfield's super cute. So like when we
Well,
watched
she's right.
we watched it's No Way Home. We watched No Way Home, and she got really, I didn't tell her about the portals, and she got really excited for Andrew Garfield, and then Toby shows up and she's like, okay, whatever, but like Andrew Garfield shows up, and that was her favorite. So, shout out to my mom.
Cool.
I get it. I get your mom.
Yeah. So did you see, Deanna, did you see the Thunderbolts movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not such a big fan of the recent Marvel projects, but this one was really good.
I think you know how like sometimes the haters online, like you agree with the basic point they're saying, but then you don't agree with like why they're saying it, and you're like coming at it from a different angle, and you don't want to hate on something because you're just going to get lumped in with like the haters that are like misogynistic or whatever.
Yes.
I kind of feel that way, about certain Marvel projects where I'm like, oh, it wasn't as good as it should have been, but it's not because there was a female lead. Like what?
No, it's sometimes the writing just lacks a certain something, or it's missing something.
Yeah.
And you can't put your finger on what it is.
Yeah. Dark Jerf says, respect to your mom, but I love each of the Spider-Men. My mom didn't take a stand and say if you didn't like Andrew Garfield, you suck, or if you like anyone else, you suck. But thank you, respect to my mom. Yes. I think I would pull the dictator card and ban you from the channel if you said anything about my mom. It's like I wouldn't normally do that, but like.
But that's my mom.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Yeah.
But okay, so what did we went through all the books that we read this week and whatnot. We'll get to no.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm gonna kick it off. I'm just gonna kick it off, and I'm gonna say because I know that one of you guys is gonna pick another thing. There was a book that made my #1 that I was very surprised did, because I didn't even have it on my top 3 most hyped list, and I thought it worked really well, and that is New Avengers #1. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way because we're anyways talking about it. It wasn't even in my top 3 most hyped. I just didn't know what to expect because like there's so much they could have done wrong with this. Also, like they did a couple of things. Did any of you guys read this one?
No.
But it's on the list.
Okay, so the marketing for this when the movie was coming out, the Thunderbolts movie come out, the Thunderbolts had an asterisk on the movie. Well, this comic series also was Thunderbolts with an asterisk. So when the Thunderbolts then had their name change in the movie, this comic series got the name change for the comic, right? Now, the comic lineup in this book is not the same as in the movie. It's better. I mean, I like the movie, but the lineup is the weakest part of the movie. You know? Like, to me, I think the actors and the characters in the movie do a really good job. It's just, if I was going to do a new Avengers squad, I wouldn't pick those characters for that squad.
Yeah, they could have taken advantage of that plan to introduce another character. Even if you don't know them, they could have been introduced here, but they didn't want to do that. They just wanted to use their limited pool, which is still work. I like the movie, but
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I just think, like, for the comics, when you have a whole world to pick from, I'm glad they didn't pick the lineup from the movie. So the lineup in the comic, it's Bucky, and the premise of the comic is Doom runs the world, because it's one world under Doom right now. Doom runs the world. Bucky is like, nah, we're going to go full Black Ops, and we're going to start, like, doing some, like, underground, like, hits on, like, Doom stuff. And so Bucky and Natasha, Black Widow, put together a team. And even in this first issue, you don't see the full team. And you don't see the characters show up until they get introduced and they flash back to them getting recruited for the team. It works really well. I'm not saying all this because, maybe writer Chris Humphreys of this book may be watching, or artist Ton Lima. Maybe. Who knows? I tagged them on Instagram and, we'll see. But the point being is, it is a legitimately good book, and the lineup is a pretty kick-ass lineup.
Looking at the cover, and I see Carnage. That's the only one that throws me off. Well, Namor also is kind of a weird off.
Yeah.
Like how are they in here? But I'm gonna read it. We're gonna find out.
It's supposed to be a violent squad because
Gotcha.
there's a lot of killing in this. In fact, there's a lot of violence in this issue. It is very let's
graphic,
shoot to kill. Like, the bad guys are the bad guys, and that's what this squad is for. And they're going up against, like, really, like, bad Nazis or terrorists or whatever, So, cool. Laura Kinney Wolverine is, like, stabbing people left and right, But the bad guys, there are clones of the Illuminati. And that's, like, the big bad in this issue going forward. So, like, basically the Jackal from Spider-Man has cloned the Illuminati into, like, these weird... They look mostly like the Illuminati, but they're a little off. They're like monster versions of the Illuminati.
When you say the Illuminati, are you talking about, like, Mr. Fantastic and that whole group, like Iron Man? I forget who else is in the group.
Black Bolt, Namor. Namor's in both teams. He's on the New Avengers and he's on the cloned Illuminati group. So there's a lot of cool stuff in this book. I really think this book's not only fun, it's badass in the right way, and it lends itself to, like, an ongoing title. Like, you can tell, like, oh, the story doesn't have to end in 6 issues. Like, it could keep going on.
Okay, that's interesting. I think I gotta put it on my own list because I haven't read it.
It's issue number 1.
One.
So it's good.
I totally missed that one. New Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Dark Jerf says no, he didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. That's okay. I was joking with you. But Dark Jerf also says the movies and the characters were great, but there was a lack of diversity, like, in the sense of, like, 3 super soldiers, an assassin, someone who's enhanced. Like, the lineup was a little lacking. Claude Curly Insane Guy also says the cloned Mr. Fantastic looks terrifying, and he was. But most terrifying is Black Bolt, the cloned Black Bolt in this, because he's just way too powerful.
Do they have the same abilities, the clones? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. And they're, like, mutated too. They're just very monstrous. Even Mr. Fantastic can't keep his form together. He's just, like, falling apart with it.
So it's just his evil Namor just kind of carrying him in a cup, walking around as he's formless.
Evil Namor is part octopus.
Never mind.
Like
Oh.
because the Jackal's just cloning people and he's like changing things. So anyway, it was fun. And then like Namor pops in because Namor has a history with Bucky. And like Namor says, he's like, look, I'm so powerful, I should be on the Avengers team, not on this team. But fine, I'll help you out.
Oh, okay. So a double agent.
Well, no. But like, well, we haven't seen New Avengers versus Avengers yet, but like, just in the sense that like Namor is too good for the team, he thinks, because he's
Okay.
that powerful. And they haven't even introduced all the main characters in the first issue, so by the way, Carnage is Eddie Brock, like in the solo series. So right now, Carnage is technically good or conflicted, however you want to, take that.
Definitely conflicted, I would say.
What were you guys' picks of the week? I know I talked a lot about what I got, but I'm very interested in you guys. I assume there's one that I assume someone's gonna pick, so whoever goes first can pick that one.
I think we both are gonna pick Absolute Batman #9. I don't know why I think that. I think that was your envisioned choice, but what was your pick?
Deanna, what is your pick?
Well, my first thought was Absolute Batman issue 9, but it's actually, once again, Batman Dark Patterns issue 7.
Okay.
It was really good.
Yeah, I love this series so much. It's so good.
What do you love most about it? Because like for people out there, I've been talking about this series. I don't necessarily like Batman miniseries because they're always kind of the same. But this is a series with like 3 issue arcs of like mysteries, which is like really cool. Manny, have you read this one?
I haven't read any of the Dark Pattern ones because I just feel like there's just too much Batman, of course. But every time that I've come on the show that Dark Patterns has been on, you've talked it up, and then now someone new is talking it up, and I haven't seen anybody talk bad about it at all. So I think maybe I'll catch up. Maybe next time I'll be in the club with everybody and
Reading
this
Dark
book.
Patterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
It's really good. Deanna, what do you like? Why is this your number 1 pick?
It's my number 1 pick because it's got everything that a comic needs. The art is good, the storyline is tense and intriguing, and obviously I love Batman, so that's great for me. And the characters feel like really fleshed in. It feels like a movie when I read it. It's like a dark noir detective story. And I also like that it's only 3 issues long, so the story doesn't stretch on for too long. And it's packed, it's tense, and it's so good.
Yeah. I feel like back in the day, and when I say back in the day, even 6 months ago, DC was doing this thing where they were releasing like, if somebody had an idea for like a Batman mystery book, they would be like, okay, here's a 6-issue miniseries, and it was just another book that was out there. That's why I just got tired of it. But like in this, I'm sure they were like, it's all one writer. I think Dan Waters. And Dan,
yes.
Each 3 issues is one story, and it moves on to a new story. And I guess you find out in this issue that the stories are back to back, but they are self-contained. 3 issue.
Yes. Well, you don't have to read the first 6 if you want to jump in at this one.
Yeah. I really like this issue because I love it. It's a fine line, but I think that like writers really love throwing their own thing into like Batman lore, like making their own like splash. And in this, I think they didn't go too far or anything, because sometimes they go too far. They mention that the origins of the Red Hood gang are Irish gangs in old Gotham, whereas the Italian mob takes over Gotham. The Irish gang's always like
yes,
behind.
On the low.
Yeah. And that they used to torture their people before they kill them by like melting their face off, and that's the Red Hood, which is your blood of your melted face.
Intense. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love how they use places you don't really know in Gotham. I think this one takes place, wait, I got it down,
Yeah.
in the, where did I write it down? I don't know, Rookery,
The
Rookery.
Rookery. Yeah.
Yes. I love how he always takes these places and puts like a world behind it. It really feels like it lived in Gotham.
Yeah. That's my favorite part about Gotham is like it's not just one thing. Like Tim Burton Gotham is fun, but it's all one note. It's just like
Yeah.
here are the dark buildings. But then like different Batman things have like been like this is the slum. This is like the barrio. This is like the more ethnic part. There's the Chinatown part. There's like all these different parts of Gotham like there would be in New York City. But with Gotham. And so the Rookery is like the slums of the slums. Like
Mm.
people build like shanty towns.
Yeah, he literally called it hell on earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was really good. Good pick. Manny.
That brings me to me with another Batman pick, which was Absolute Batman #9. That was just like intense. I really, I, I got the sense that it's been so different. You know, it's a different universe and everything. That they keep talking about Wayland. Wayland went missing in the last issue, and this issue starts off with Batman going on his crusade to try to find Wayland. Um, but with Wayland, they even showed a flashback in this issue. They keep mentioning Croc around him because that's who he is. That's who we know him from. But I think that's gonna be like what is a misdirection
A
or
red
something.
herring? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wayland might be Bane. I don't know. Like we didn't see Bane until Wayland went missing, and then here it is. That's a
Okay, that's an
very
interesting
very
take.
that's a
I,
far reach, but I'm gonna say it. I just want to say that I said it. And if it doesn't turn out to be that, well, yeah, it was a far reach anyways. But no, I liked it. We saw Dick Grayson in this too. He's just a EMT and he hates Batman because
Wait, what?
yes,
yes.
yes,
So
it's like very on the low. You only see his card for a split
Did
yes.
second.
I
It's
miss
so
that?
small.
All right, let's go ahead and shut down the show for like 2 minutes. Let's go over
Yeah.
to the
Wait.
issue and
Is it
no,
Dick or is it just a Grayson?
No,
Like
no,
it says
Dick
D
Grayson.
Grayson.
Yeah.
I think it said D Grayson, but if it said
Oh,
Dick Grayson,
with
I
a
mean, we
point.
all know.
I don't really know.
So basically, what I was talking about, Batman's going on his crusade. He's beating up everybody, right? So he beat up so many people that the ambulances ran out, so they started like doing ride shares. The ride shares ran out, so there was even one guy, one EMT that has like a bike and has like a wagon or whatever behind him. That was Dick Grayson. Like you see his EMT badge and it says D Grayson, and he says I. In all those little symbols, I hate Batman.
Yeah.
Like, so that was pretty funny.
I just
Um,
realized because when I saw that, I thought it was a reference to Titans, but I didn't think to myself that was Dick in Absolute Batman. But now that I think about it, that is Dick, and then Dick says that in the Titans show, which is a really bad show. I'm not a fan of it, but the point being is he said it in the Titans show, and that's a direct reference to that. I just realized
It's a
that.
great reference. And then another far reach is that they do mention Pennyworth mentions like a JK built a business or something like that. Kind of looks like Joker. I see JK in Batman universe. I'm thinking, oh, is that Joker? So that's another reference that I thought was pretty cool. And I just like Pennyworth in this. I call him Pennyworth and not Alfred because he doesn't go by Alfred yet, right? He
No,
just
No,
he's
no,
sort of
he's
a
like
Pennyworth.
agent.
Agent
Yeah, that's the
Pennyworth.
Mr.
Yeah,
Agent there. I liked his whole dialogue where he explains that like Batman is in a situation here where he kind of needs to realize the truth of the world is that he's not going to win this war. He's not gonna be able to punch his way out of the solution to fix Gotham. And this is his realization in this issue. And then we see Bane in the scariest of it's impossible to think that Bane could be scarier, and yet here it is. Like he just what did he say? Like, oh, I haven't even used my juice yet. Like, I haven't
Yeah,
even got
oh my god.
started. And at that point, he had destroyed Batman physically in a battle. So that was great. I just loved it the whole time. It was a good read.
Deanna, did you have thoughts?
I do have thoughts. First thing, I love how he like built up his little team. Like you really get, oh, he needs his friends to get to this point. But then when you're at the top, you're also getting beat down. So it's a fun storyline. The last two issues weren't my favorite, but now it picks up again on the main story. So I think it's going to the right direction again.
Yeah. I love, first thing, I love like a best friendship. You know, like in comics and fiction. I love the idea that, like, I feel like in fiction, the only person, like, in most mainstream fiction, like, the only time you, like, die for someone or you would give your life for someone is if you're in love with them. But, like, a close best friendship is very similar. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It's just this. And what I think is interesting in this is they mention, like, Waylon mentions that Bruce is his best friend. I don't know whether Waylon is Bruce's best friend, but it could be possible. But, like, that is a fresh new retelling of Batman and his, like, characters I've never seen before. I never would have thought, tell me, like, a year ago that there would be just this new Batman tale where, like, Croc and Bruce are best friends. That's the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, that's true.
His rogues gallery are the friends. Like that's the different part as well. But yeah, this Batman is not a Lone Ranger. As much as he tried to be, he does have that. He already has set up, like you said, Deanna, the group of friends to fall back on. So that's cool. Cool to see.
Here's a question. Somebody brought up: is this the best episode? It's kind of like an episode. Best issue of Absolute Batman so far. Some people are saying it's the best issue.
I don't think it's the best issue.
I think it's a great build up for what's going on and will happen to become maybe the best issue. But I think every issue has just been building on top of each other, like to build this universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say the best, but great.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody also, I forget who said it online. Again, for anyone out there who doesn't know what the Absolute DC universe is, it's like a different universe than the prime DC universe that we know. Batman, Superman, Aquaman, all that stuff. But this is like Darkseid has died and his dead essence has manifested into this new dark universe where the heroes have like the same souls, but they're put in more impossible situations and they struggle more and whatnot. And somebody online summed this up as the Absolute DC universe is Darkseid fanfic.
Okay.
Like if Darkseid was writing the universe, like this is his fan fiction.
That's true. In my humble opinion, I think every comic book is almost fan fiction because every writer just puts their own lore and writing into it, and it's all very biased in a way because one writer could write the same character in a completely different way.
Yeah. But I mean, Darkseid wrote this.
Yeah.
You know, like in universe, in the universe, this universe is created. What'd you say?
Kudos. AO3, it's a fanfiction side.
Yeah. This is Darkseid on AO3?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Everyone thinks he's missing, but he's actually just hunkered down, writing a story. Yeah. He's like, dumb Superman, I'm gonna make him be with his parents for a lot longer, then take him away.
just wait till we get to like horny Darkseid. When Darkseid's like, now these two guys are gonna kiss.
Well, this one has been a little bit freaky, this issue.
Has it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were rolling on the sheets with the money on it.
That's right. I forgot about that flashback. There was so much that happened.
You just blended it out.
Honestly, I forgot about that, but Waylon did seem to like disapprove whenever he saw that. He was like, is that money? It kind of came off as like, did you steal this again? I thought I told you not to be in this type of behavior, blah, blah, blah. That's just how it came up. They didn't elaborate on it, but that's how I took it. So that's
Waylon's a real good guy.
Yeah. And until he turned into Bane.
I don't think you can keep your theory. I don't think it's the case, but I also I would be really sad if any of these the bad guys that we know from the main universe, if they turn bad in this universe, I'm going to get really sad. I love the fact that Edward Nygma is Bruce's computer guy. Oswald is like the ear to the ground crime guy. Waylon trained him, like trained Bruce, and Bruce trains Waylon in fighting. Like Harvey knows the politics part. Like they're all like connected.
Yeah.
I love that about them.
I think at some point one of them's going to go bad. At least one. When Bane gets introduced in this issue, he opens up with like they put him in front of these two politicians who decided to make peace against their warring countries, right?
Yeah.
Here's another point that it might be Waylon. He was like, "Hey, so happy that you guys have made up. Like that's great news. Unfortunately, I can't let that pass, and I need you guys to continue warring." I just feel like Waylon would be up to date with his politics and would say like, "Yeah, I like that. That's exactly what we wanted." But unfortunately, my boss wants money dead, and here we are.
Yeah.
I'm right. I'm just gonna,
I love
just
your
gonna say
theory,
that.
but I'm not sure if I'm with you.
This
Like,
Bane
I love
is a
the
beast.
energy.
Let me just keep digging my hole, right? Like,
Okay.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Yes, exactly.
Claude, Curly Insane Guy. By the way, Claude, do you want me to call you Claude or Curly Insane Guy? Because it's both in the chat. Says, I keep saying that Darkseid's doing a terrible job at making a dark universe because there's still some pretty damn heroic heroes. Yeah, I think it's like, even in a world of Darkseid, heroes still pop up, right? Like, that's, I think, the point. It's that, like, even in a world built by evil, like, good will still, maybe not triumph, but good will still exist because that's just the nature of good and hope and perseverance and whatnot. My side thing, and I've mentioned this on a previous episode before we move on to another comic, because there's a bunch of comics we got to go over, but I think in a meta sense, the absolute DC universe is our world. It's just a pessimistic view on our world. Like, it's supposed to be the DC universe, good guys always win. But in the real world, who's to say good guys always win? Who's to say bad guys always win? Sure. But, like, we don't know. And bad things happen in the real world that sometimes there's no hero around, right? I think in a meta sort of way, the absolute DC universe is the real world. Not actually in continuity, but like...
Okay, that's interesting. You guys get your theories down.
You know, it's I don't know. I'm playing with the idea that, like, I think that's what the authors want. Is this idea that, like, in Absolute Superman, Ra's al Ghul runs the League of Shareholders. Like, it's very corporate, it's very capitalist, you know? All these problems that are arising in all these Absolute books are problems in our world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're building on real world issues.
Yeah. But taken to an extent, right? But, like,
yeah,
still
obviously.
pretty real commentary.
Very comical.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, Absolute Batman #9 is good. I want to go over some more stuff that you guys read. There's a lot of books. So, those are our picks of the week, but we'll hit everything else that we read with a little bit less commentary. But what are you guys dying to talk about? Because let's hit them.
Go again, but
go
New
for it.
Champions #6. So it was great. It's basically the champions are recruiting the Avengers to help them find one of the missing champions. They go on a team up. It's the first little team up. Moon Squire meets Moon Knight for the first time. It's a pretty good interaction. Moon Knight's like, I would take that costume off as far as you. Like, you don't want to be me. Like, it's pretty funny. But it's a pretty self-contained issue. They do the rescue mission. They find the person they're looking for. I really like it because the who they're looking for is a new hero named Liberty. And even though she just got kidnapped by this, it's like a Magneto teenage girl wannabe.
She was in a last couple
Magnetrix. Yeah, Magnetrix. Even though she kidnapped her, like at the end, while everybody else is like, yo, we gotta stop her. She sucks, blah, blah, blah. She's like, hey, that could be us. You know, like she's in the same situation that she just went through the same situation that we did. She just made the wrong decisions. She can still, there's still hope for her. So I like that about her. I like her optimism, and I'm looking forward to this next issue. It's a good setup for the next issue. They have another friend who went off with her grandma, and now it's like, oh, grandma's probably not a good person, and so let's go save her. Yeah.
I think I've read up until this issue. I didn't read this issue. It was on my list. I'm having trouble connecting to some of these characters because I'm used to the old new champions team, like the one with like Kamala
like
Khan
the other
and Miles.
champions. Yes.
Yeah. I like the previous team better, but like I'm willing to keep going with this. I really like the Magnatrix girl.
She's insane. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what they keep showing her. Like she just wants to hurt to hurt.
Yeah. I like team books just in general, but I also have a soft spot for team books. Which is why Runaways #1 was on my list for this week. Did we all read this one, or was it just Deanna and I, or was it all of us?
I think we all read it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, this book, Runaways #1, is the same writer and artist from the previous run, but this takes place in the One World Under Doom era, and it really, I think, really focuses on the Doombot that's on their team, and like kind of where the last series left off. Did you guys like this issue?
I think it's a great starting point if you have no idea what's going on, because that's what happened to me. I was like, what's happening? Why is Doom suddenly king of the world?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I only knew the Runaways from the TV series they put out a few years ago, and I read a few issues, but I couldn't really get into it. But this one has been fun. It's like, these are teens and they're kind of living alone. There's this bot. There's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Found family, action. There's everything that you need.
No, man.
I was gonna say I agree and disagree. I agree with, like, there's a lot of layers. So that if you're a first time reader of Runaways, which I am, I've never read any Runaways. I never watched the show either.
Oh.
So like I was confused. I was like, I don't know who these people are. Like I kind of read the synopsis in the beginning, which tells you like the history of Runaways, but at the very same time, I was just like, I still am not sure what's going on. But like you said, there's a lot of layers that I'm interested. I grabbed onto a couple of different things that I'm like, oh, I want to know more about this. I want to know more about this. So I am like excited to keep reading. The only thing that I was confused about was what's her name? Is it Nico?
Yeah.
Nico. I thought she was a teacher in Strange Academy. So like, how does she not know magic?
She used to have her
that
staff when she was,
Right.
as far as I remember, when she was teaching at Strange Academy. Unless she's teaching at Doom Academy, because that's current stuff.
I don't think she is.
Yeah, I don't think she is. But Strange Academy, she had her staff of 1, and she was able to do magic with her staff. That being said, you're right. In this book, they're like, does she know any magic outside of her staff?
Yeah, like they show her like she can't do anything. Like she's useless. She can only fight or something. And I was just like, that doesn't make sense. You were a teacher at a school for magic.
Like, I know you just did that. Why can't you do it anymore?
Yeah, like I understand she had her staff and that's where she got like most of her power, but she should at least know more basics. So if her whole her whole family apparently are sorcerers and witches and stuff like that, she should have some kind of basis.
But she never had to. She never had to learn past the staff.
Okay.
You know, and that's kind of the way the original Runaways comics works. So like the premise of the Runaways, you know, is that like they were all just like rando kids that every year their parents would get together for like one of those parent parties, you know, that like sometimes happens, like, and then, you know, a bunch of the kids are forced to hang out with each other. But it turns out during those parent parties, all the parents are sacrificing young, I think specifically young girls to this like elder god. Every year they have to sacrifice it. And what they realize is that all these kids' parents are villains in California. And this also explains why why Marvel California doesn't have too many heroes is because the Pride, which is this villainous organization run by all the parents, they're all villains of different like powers and types. They run California. They're based out of LA. They run California. All the crime, all the power is theirs. And the reason they have that power is because they're sacrificing like one girl every year. And so when the kids find out, they run away. And that's the premise of
They're runaways.
Yeah. And so some of them have powers and some of them don't. And that's how it works.
Okay.
So like, yeah, Gert's parents are time travelers. Chase's parents are inventors. Molly's parents are mutants, but now not. It was weird. Nico's parents are magicians. And then over time, they gain other people. Like Victor Mancha is an android, and he's built by Ultron. So he's essentially Ultron's kid, in a way. Doombot is just a rogue Doombot. Then they have Gib, who is essentially the kid, like a kid version of those elder gods that they've been sacrificing people to. Gib is like the kid that's left behind. So there's like a bunch of stuff going on. Oh, Caroline is alien, but she's not in this issue. So there's a lot going on. I love the characters. I've been reading them since high school. And then I watched the show. So like every time a new series of Runaways would come out, I'd try to keep up. I love Runaways.
I think it's fun, especially because you don't get that many kids heroes in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really fun for young adults to get into the universe.
Yeah.
And I think Runaways is just a title, like, oh yeah, the Runaways.
Yeah. Runaways came
who
around.
Who doesn't dream of that? Like, you find out your parents are actually super villains and you get to hang out with new friends. I don't know. It seems like a cool concept. A concept, not in real life. It would suck.
Yeah. Also, they're based in LA, which is cool for me, you know? And so, like, I get to see things in the art like that. I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
I get that when I read a comic, they're like, Switzerland. Well, that's the mountains. I've never been there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they ever show.
Yeah, like Switzerland, just mountains and snow. That's what you get.
You know. That was Runaways. What let's talk Robin and Batman, Jason Todd #1, which is a new miniseries by the same people who did the first Robin and Batman that was based around Dick Grayson. I loved this one.
Me too.
I got nothing to say other than it was exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
I'm very surprised at Alfred's dialogue. I was like, man, he's usually so optimistic, and in this he's just like, give up.
But I gotta say, in the Dick Grayson 3-issue arc, he's also very blunt and like very honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's very. It's on a line, his dialogue.
So it's just the way Jeff Lemire is writing Alfred.
I feel so. Yeah.
I don't think he's wrong. I think it was just very blunt and just kind of like a little heartbreaking. I expected like Jason to be around the corner hearing it and like being sad about it, but
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but it was good. I really liked it. I liked seeing, you know, you expect Batman to always notice all the details, right? So like when he goes around the corner and he sees Jason, blood in hands, the villain Cuckoo is dead in front of him. You expect from all the Batman lovers in the world, they'll say Batman would already have seen the shadow of the whatever the wraith and blah blah blah, and know that Jason did. So I like seeing him react and like, what did you do? Like that was
yeah,
great.
that's the first reaction. Like your kid spills some paint, and you're like, what did you do?
He grabs him. He's like, I didn't do anything. Yeah, like get off me.
But it's also very human. Like the characters feel very real. Like I would also react that way. Also, like with Alfred, he's like, I think you should give up. That's what I would say.
Oh, you tried.
You tried. It's okay.
Next, Robin.
Yeah.
I like Batman when he's not perfect. Like I want Batman who tries to be perfect and gets close to perfection, but I like Batman where he has to depend on other people. He has to learn to depend on other people, right? It's a flaw in a real human being to always go solo, right? Like, and I hope that extends to Batman also, especially modern Batman writing. Like, they've been trying to show that he has to have support in one way or another, which I love. I love that type of storytelling.
And I like how they showed that too when he was like talking about Jason. He kind of just shuts himself up and he says like, "Hey, this is the part where you tell me I'm wrong. Like this is what I'm depending on you for to lead me in the right way." And he's like, "No, no, you're right. That kid, there's something wrong with that kid."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a like, yeah, something's wrong with that kid. I can't even tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Well, the idea that Alfred's saying is that like you can't just adopt and make Robins from every troubled kid. Like every troubled kid you meet, you can't adopt and make him a Robin. Like that only applied to Dick, and you're trying to like recreate this with Jason, and Jason isn't ready, whether he'll ever be ready. You know?
Doesn't want to be ready. Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, it shows also like
good.
These are kids.
Yeah.
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 That's a kid. You can't put him into crime fighting. That's insane.
Like Dick should have been a one-off, right? Like
yeah, like they said, he's exceptional.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. What else? Manny, what else did you read?
Yeah, we're still talking about Batman, right? So Batman and Robin 22,
Okay.
where they're going like they're finally figuring out who done it, right? With the mystery that they're going through, and they finally go down the evidence, the lead that Damien's been saying, like, right, this guy talks like Etrigan. Let's go talk to Jason Blood, and so they go talk to him, and that was a pretty good issue. I always like seeing Jason Blood. I hate and love his speech pattern where he rhymes everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I love it. I think I love it more in the Justice League cartoon because that voice actor does a great job with doing that. But reading it kind of gets tiresome, right? Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
But that was great, and I do appreciate finally that the girl in there, the Catherine, she finally uses her detective skill, and she's like, I know who you are. Like, just stop trying to pretend like I don't. Like, how stupid do you think I am? Like, calls him Young Jack because that's how she knows him. So that was good that they finally cleared the air there, and no, it was just cool. And the irregulars, like the kids that are, I guess they're not runaways. Are they homeless kids? Like they're just kids on the street. I don't know if that means that they're homeless or if they're just always hanging out in the street or not. But Batman calls them the irregulars, and then they like show up in the underground city. That was really cool to see that whole thing and the explanation behind it. It was a good issue.
I'm behind.
I agree. Sorry.
I was just saying I'm behind on this. So I haven't caught up. I'm like 2 issues behind, I think.
My only issue with this series and this arc, it's going on for too long. I feel like we should wrap it up.
It's dragging. Yeah, this is issue 10. I think we've been in this arc for 7 issues. Like it's come on.
Like Damien's been missing for like what 4 or 5
no, it's
issues
issue 22.
Now? Yeah, but Damien's been like missing, and they're trying to find him. Like, come on, you're the world's greatest detective. Get it going.
To get it, yeah. It is also weird that it is an actual supernatural thing that's happening. I thought that it was going to get to the point where it's like, no, it just comes off as supernatural, but it's just kind of like Scooby-Doo. It's like, it was this guy all along. Like, it's a regular person. But no, this seems to be Etrigan kind of solidified that, you're dealing with this demon. And here we go. Like, and it goes off into a whole explanation, which is a good explanation. But like you said, it's dragging. It's dragging.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like DC is firing on all cylinders, and normally I think that DC like puts too much time and effort into Batman related titles, but like I think they're diversifying their like list of or their books and like all the stuff that they're doing. And so, and even the Batman stuff, I don't feel is is overdone right now. Like, I don't think they're overdoing Batman right now. Even with the amount of Batman stuff that's out right now. It's been pretty good. They all kind of vary from each other, you know?
I feel like people's biggest issue with Batman is that he just appears in other people's stories, like for no reason other than being there.
That's true.
And I get that. Like, but in his stories, he's very strong at the moment.
I mean, 4 Batman-related issues this week: Absolute Batman, Batman and Robin, Batman Dark Patterns, and Robin and Batman, Jason Todd. They're all different vibes, which has been pretty cool, you know. I'll hit a couple that I read, and then we can get back to some of the stuff that you guys read. I've been pretty up to date with Ultimate Black Panther 17. I don't think you guys are reading that one.
Nope.
The Ultimate Marvel Universe is really good, just like the Absolute DC Universe. But there are titles that are better than others. I'm really liking Ultimate Black Panther. The art is always amazing. And they put a wrinkle in this issue 17, that I was expecting, but then I wasn't expecting. And then now it hit. So I was like, oh, I didn't think something would happen. There's something that happens at the final issue or final page. And I'm like, oh, I thought this would happen earlier, I guess. But then they like fooled me into like thinking it would never happen. And now it did. So cool. Yeah.
A misdirection.
It was like misdirecting the misdirection, I guess, in a way. Or like, like it was, how do I put
this? It seems so apparent that you're like, nah, this can't be happening.
Yeah, and they weren't doing anything with that like big thing that I thought they were going to do. And then they did. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll see. It could also be a misdirection at the end. So I don't know. But this issue is pretty good. This series lulled for a little bit, but now it's picking back up. And the art is gorgeous. Like, we've talked about it on previous episodes. Like, why is the art this gorgeous? It's
who's the artist?
We've talked about it before, but I'd have to look that up. But let's see. Stefano Caselli.
I think I recognize that name. But
he also did the cover. So if you look at the cover, the main cover of Ultimate Black Panther 17, that's also Stefano Caselli. So, you know, props to him. All right, what else did you guys read?
I got it for still in the Marvel Universe, Spider-Girl, issue 1.
Did you pick it up because you were interested in Spider-Girl, because it was issue 1 and you want to diversify? Or like, what brought you to this? Because I read it too, but I was just curious.
Both. I didn't realize it was a spin-off from Spider-Boy, and I didn't read anything from Spider-Boy. But it was a good entry. It was really fun. It felt like Spider-Man. Like, it's very whammy, comical. It's very like, okay, this is a comic.
Yeah. And it's childish. It's childish without being like
over the top.
Yeah, a kid's cartoon.
Yes.
But yeah. Manny, what were you saying?
I was just saying, it's her dialogue. She sounds kind of like Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The premise of this Spider-Girl, were you guys reading Spider-Boy at all? Either of you?
No. And that's what I was hoping that this book would do a little bit better on her backstory.
Yeah.
But instead of depending so much on like, hey, hopefully you read Spider-Boy and you know everything. But they did kind of lag. But they did enough to know, like, oh, she was trained by what's his name? Bullseye. So
yeah. Basically, she's a mutant, and she was introduced in Spider-Boy, and her power is that she can copy people's abilities and like memories, but like it gets confusing for her, right? So it's a little bit different than like Taskmaster, because Taskmaster is like copying moves, but she's copying, I don't know whether she's copying powers or not. I guess she is. So she is.
That's how she got the spider power.
Yeah,
but
so
she can
got
also
Spider-Boy's powers. Yeah.
She kind of mirrors the other people's minds, like she's becoming one with them almost.
Yeah.
Does she keep the powers or like the abilities that she mirrors like forever,
Only
or
she only got Spider Boy, I think,
Yeah.
for some random reason, but
Mm,
otherwise no, only for a limited time.
Spider-Boy's
okay.
power she's kept because I think in like a flashback they had like some sort of like contact where like they didn't separate in time. So like and she got like gets really confused and she confuses Bullseye's like being Bullseye's a psychopath. She gets that mixed up with Spider-Boy. So in her head she thinks Spider-Boy's a psychopath. But it was because there was too much going on, right? As she was like so that's kind of her arc in Spider-Boy, and in this, she's on her own, being a kid in New York. She's from Hawaii, and now she's in New York. So, basic premise. Dark Jerf says so she's like Legion. Legion is a little bit different. Legion has split personalities, and then the personalities have different powers. As far as my understanding of Legion, who does pop up, I might as well just hop over to Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga #1, which is a series of one shots that all tie together in this event. But basically, the previous issue was Giant Size X-Men #1, not the original Giant Size X-Men #1. But the point being is Kamala Khan stuck in time. She's going back in time to team up with the X-Men at like big moments in their history. So the first one was Giant Size X-Men. Second one's Dark Phoenix Saga, which is this one. Then the next one is Age of Apocalypse. And then the next one is House of M. And then I think there's one more issue to wrap things up. But
Is she changing things as she goes along, or is she just
she's
there?
not going to end up changing things. The
Okay.
big bad guy of this is a Legion from the future. So it's like Old Man Legion,
Okay.
who I think his David personality is dead, but he's come back from an alternate future and he's messing through time. So I don't think the time is going to stay messed up. But the author, I think, was said that like the point is that Kamala gets to kind of train with the X-Men to learn what it's like to be like a classic
She's a mutant
X-Men.
now, right?
Okay.
She's a mutant, so she needs to go through all the things that mutants have gone through, I
Yeah.
guess.
And the big
Yeah,
it's
that
like
makes
a
sense.
mutant history lesson, right?
Yeah.
Like she's going through like the history of the X-Men. And that's her journey. It's not going to affect other people in their journeys, but it's her journey.
Okay, that's cool.
You know? People were afraid that it was just going to be Kamala's been there the whole time, and it's like, no, they're not. That's not the story they're telling.
I was there. Yeah, definitely there.
Yeah, I was there in the background. So,
You get a history book, and you're like, see, that's me.
yeah,
That's me right there.
yeah. But anyway, that's Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga. I don't need to go much more into that. Just wanted to Dark Jerf brought up Legion, so if you want Legion, that's where Legion is right now, or one version. Curly Insane Guy says she gets to catch up by living the event comic trauma of the X-Men. Yeah. She can't
Just
be an
back to
X-Men
back to
without
back.
the trauma.
Trauma behind trauma behind trauma. Good for her. That's
Yeah.
awesome for her.
That builds personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we gotta like double time, triple time all our other reviews going forward for the sake of time. We even started the show on time. There's just a lot of comics this week. A lot of comics. Let's go through this. Supergirl #2. Did you guys read this one?
Yes.
I think did we all read this one? No, Manny didn't. Deanna, tell me your thoughts about it. You
Okay.
liking it?
Super whammy, very very Silver Age, but in a fun way. It's nothing serious, kind of again YA literature.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick it up, but you don't need to.
Yeah, it is very Silver Age. I will say that, and I'm not complaining. The art is very cheesecake, and like, how do I put this? If you like thick curvy women, then this artist is for you. That's kind of the art in this. Again, not complaining, but just,
Just saying.
the art is really good. The art is really good
Information-wise.
on its own. But I have I don't think I've seen a DC comic this thick ever. Like the proportions
Yeah,
are different in this.
they're kind of crazy. Yeah.
Even with Power Girl existing.
That's the thing. Like Power Girl doesn't have to exist when these characters do. like in Supergirl #2. Like basically the premise is that there's a Kandorian that's trying to like she's jealous of Supergirl, so she comes to Supergirl's hometown and she pretends to be Supergirl. And so there's like two Supergirls. But one is
Kandorian?
Yeah, she's Kandorian.
Do Kandorians have like the same physiology as Kryptonians, I guess? Like they become like Superman?
Yeah.
Under the
Under
yellow
the
sun?
yellow
Like
sun.
in the yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought Kandorians were just basically not human, but I thought they didn't get any powers.
They don't get any powers because normally the jar that Kandor is in doesn't have like a yellow sun against it. But like there have been other crossover events that were like Kandorians do get powers. But yeah. Claude says, so this artist needs a big Barda mini, is what I'm hearing. Yes. As a fan of Big Barda, this artist needs to draw her. Even if, like, if I met this artist at a Comic-Con, I would ask for her to draw Big Barda. Or him to draw. I don't know who the artist is, but, like, I would ask for a Big Barda piece. So, yeah. Those are the goals. We got people watching us on youtube.com/thekeeg show. Let us know you're out there. Jump in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, do your thing. All right, we got to get through this real quick. Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, issue #1. This is the daughter of Wonder Woman. She was in like some backup issues of different comics, but was this good? Was this not good? I'm not really interested in her, but I don't know. I didn't read it.
I get your disinterest. It's okay. It was okay. It was like time travel fun. She starts like as a kid and she meets herself as a teen and then as a young adult, and they go on these time travel craziness, whatever it is, and they try to turn everything back into what it was.
Is it a series or is it a one shot?
I think it's a series. Yeah.
It is a series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the first issue, but you don't need to read it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one thing about, if you know me, that you know I hate time travel, and because it's always a paradox. No matter what, you're gonna find something and be like, well, this doesn't make sense. And basically with this, you get a very young Trinity who is upset. She's sad because she doesn't know her dad, and she doesn't have her mom around. And then so in the future, a preteen version of her comes from the future to that exact moment where she's sad, to try to cheer her up, realizes she doesn't have a plan to cheer her up. So obviously someone in the future is going to know how to fix this. So they go to the future to meet with her teenage self. And in my head, I'm like, the teenage self is surprised to see them, but the younger people should already know that this is happening. I don't know, like they should have the memories, but they don't.
I feel like they could have done something else with Trinity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a story about, at the end, she wants to know who her dad is, and at the end we see, spoilers if you don't want to know, but we see Steve Trevor, right?
Yeah,
that's his name. He is just saying like, I need to see my daughter, and that was it. But it looks very evil. I was like, what? I thought he was a good guy. he came off as a bad guy. He's like, he has the fates, I think, tied up, the 3 fates tied up, and he's like, I need to see my daughter, and that's how it ends. So you want to continue, but it was a cute story so far, but yeah, nothing must see.
Okay, all right. Deanna, were those all the books that you read this week, or were there more?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that wasn't. I'm done.
All right. Manny, let's quickly get through the rest on your list, and then we'll finish off my list.
My last one is
Magic #6.
Oh, go ahead. No. Oh, did I? I thought I talked about Magic. Oh, Magic was good. It's just the beginning of a new arc. She goes back to Limbo to help out Madeline Pryor. There's like a insurrection happening because they don't see her as the queen, so they just team up they take down the rebel faction, and Magic gets a new sword. So that's cool.
Okay.
But other than that, the other one was Doom, the
One
One
World
World
Under
Under
Doom?
Doom #5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one it was a little slow at the beginning, like they're just finishing up uh, fighting Dormammu, but I really liked it at the end where it's logical that Thor of all people is the one that says this. He just, hey, my dad is technically the tyrant of universes and other worlds, and he does a good job. Doom's not doing a bad job.
Yeah.
We should probably think about the fact that he has, while he has raised up his level, he has raised the whole world, all of Midgard with him. Maybe it's not a bad thing to let him keep his position. Like maybe like he's done nothing but good things so far, and it's a good question of like, is this a bad thing? He hasn't really done anything. We haven't seen any nefarious plots
Right.
so far.
Which is the twist in like issue 3 or whatever, where they said like, oh, it must be mind control, and then it turns out it was like, no, he just promised people what they wanted and he delivered, and that's how he got world peace.
Obviously it's not gonna last, but it's a good question. And what's his name? Tony Stark is like, oh, let me consider it. Done. No, like,
Yeah.
I'm not considering it. It's a good question to consider, and I'm wondering how they're gonna knock him off of his throne if he continues the way he is, because he hasn't done anything wrong so far, other than be Doom.
Yeah. I mean, in the final page, you do get Maria Hill showing up being like, I have a secret about Doom.
Yeah, but she's Shield. You can't trust Shield either.
You can't trust Doom. Like,
you can't. Yeah. It's
On
a new
whose
world.
side are you, Manny?
It's
yeah,
a new
Manny.
world. I'm in the side that says Waylon is Bane. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come up right all the way
right.
back
Well,
to
we're
that.
not
No.
gonna get on that topic, but yeah, One World Under Doom #5. I'm liking it, but I need some sort of payoff, some grander
Something to happen.
plan.
Yeah.
You know, Claude says, because I haven't read this book, Claude says that in Doomstrike, in Thunderbolt's Doomstrike, that Doom blows up a town to spite Bucky. And so
that's one town. We got a whole Earth. No, I'm just kidding.
what else did you read? Did you read anything else, Manny?
No, that was it. That was the last book.
Okay. So I want to quickly go through some of mine. I think I only got like two books left. Action Comics 1087, I think it was. Action Comics 1087. It's written by Mark Waid, and if you know anything about me, I love Mark Waid. I think he's amazing. He is reintroducing the fact that Superman was Superboy, that like Clark Kent was Superboy in Smallville. He's reintroducing that into continuity to link him with the Legion of Superheroes and to bring in Crypto, because there's a Crypto series that's coming out soon, which you kind of you see the first couple of issues at the end of some of these comics this week.
Yeah.
But this was a really good issue. Clark goes to Metropolis with his parents, and he hasn't been public as Superboy yet. Not even in Smallville, but he wears his suit underneath his costume, and his parents are like, now's not the time. We will have to think about how to. They're very supportive. They're the exact opposite of Man of Steel, where Jonathan Kent's like, you don't owe them anything, and don't ever give up your identity and whatever.
It was so crazy.
It's so not Jonathan Kent.
What?
Yeah. In this, Jonathan Kent's like, do it. And he's telling him in like whispers as Superboy's like doing stuff. He's like, remember how I trained you? Like, there's a lot going on with this one issue that ties in with the Justice Society. It ties in with like what the Earth was like when Clark like was young. Like, there weren't many, if any, superheroes at that point. So I thought it was a really good issue. I also read Phoenix #12. This is written by Stephanie Phillips. Issue #11 kind of bored me, and it's not Stephanie's fault. She was setting up a new arc. In this, I liked it. Not much more I can say. The art is good. Stephanie Phillips is doing a great job on Phoenix. If she wants to come on the show and be interviewed by me, feel free. And then I think, Eddie Brock Carnage #5. Eddie Brock has the Carnage symbiote. He's constantly like fighting with it in its head because Carnage wants to kill. Eddie Brock doesn't. Carnage is doing things with Eddie's body while he's unconscious. And so there's this like back and forth. It's a really violent comic, but it is really good. And I don't like Venom or Carnage or the symbiotes, but like this book has been really good. So I can't, it is really good. And then last but not least, DC versus Vampires World War V #10. I've been digging this series just like I dug the previous 12-issue miniseries that came before it. Yeah, I don't know. This one's really good.
Fun.
I love this series. So not much more I can say other than the art is great. And it's an Elseworlds book if vampires took over the DC world. There's a twist in it too. There's a twist in this issue. So.
Okay, I only read the original one, the first 12 issues.
Yeah.
And then I kind of gave up.
Did you not like it?
It was okay.
Okay.
But I didn't think it needed more. Like, I like it when a story is like compact and done and you're finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read Dark Knights of Steel? Because I felt like that came out at the same time as DC versus Vampires.
Yes, the medieval.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like that one?
That one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the art. It was very interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
And I also even like the Deathstroke extra stories.
Oh, Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was good. I'm loving what DC's doing with Elseworlds right now. They're really they're trying to flesh out these things instead of just being like, here's 3 issues of whatever, and it's like, okay,
yeah, No, DC's doing a really great job recently for most of their titles.
I mean, I love DC, Marvel, I love everybody, but like, I think DC's really been stepping up their game.
Yeah.
I also can't wait for the new history of the DC universe, like the Mark Waid.
Yeah, that looks pretty interesting.
I can't wait. I think that's everything that we read this week. Obviously, there were books that we didn't get to read, so we can't really talk about it. But that's because this is just 24 hours. For everybody out there, like, we had 24 hours to read what we could, and we did our best. If you haven't already, checked out the website, go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. All the comics that we talked about today, you could pick up at your local comic shop. Your local comic shops need your support. As long as they're cool, who's to say, as long as they're chill and cool and accepting and inviting and inclusive and not gatekeepy, then support your local comic shops, that's up to you guys to judge. Before we get going, Manny, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Well, I'm pretty much on all socials as Manny Reads Comics, and I don't really have anything coming up. I just do random posts here and there, books that I've read or books that I have. So if you want to check that out, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Manny Reads Comics. If you guys aren't following Manny, definitely follow Manny. And Deanna, that also sounds like Indiana Jones. Deanna, thank you so much for coming on. This is your second episode with us. But your first episode was just a podcast episode. But this is your first live stream / podcast. So, we have the chat and everything. So shout out to the chat. Deanna, where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, also a bit on YouTube. And I want to plug, tell a loved one you love them.
That's nice.
Well,
We've never gotten that.
Mm.
Everybody on the show is really self-centered. Nobody ever plugs something nice like that.
What, really?
I just never thought about that. No.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Manny. You support Doom.
I'll tell the town that I live in that they're a deserving town.
Yeah,
Doom likes
I'm
them.
sorry, I said it's only one town.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? What do they say in One World Under Doom? It's like Doom. It's not like God bless us. It's like Doom bless us, but it's not. What do they say? There's a phrase. There's a phrase they use. It's like Doom. Peace be with Doom or something. Like, they say something. There's some phrase. Anyway, we'll look it up for
Say
a
it.
subsequent episode. Again, yeah, if you aren't following Manny Reads Comics or Deanna Kinney on social media, definitely follow them. If anyone out there wants to follow me personally, you can follow me on Instagram, probably the best way, at This Is Dimithri. But that's for me personally. If you want to know about, the things that I'm up to in my personal life, that's where you go. If you want Dimithri. But if you want the Keeg, which is our overarching channel that we have, Comic Talk, it's just one of the many shows that we do. We also do the Keeg Talks, where we talk about movies and TV and whatnot. Recently, we did a Superman 101 episode with me and Vegan Superkick, where it's a very introductory, base level, entry level, talk about Superman. So if you want to learn just a little bit more about Superman, but you've never really given him a try, listen to that podcast episode and then go see the Superman movie that comes out next month. Claude says Doom provides. That might be it. I think that's what the phrase I was looking for. But we also...
One World Under Doom. I'm looking at it right now. One World Under Doom is another thing that people have been saying.
Yeah. I think it's Doom provides, and then Captain Marvel gets mad. She's like, but I'm the one who saved you. But okay, fine. So the Keeg Talks is where we do that. The Keeg Chats is one-on-one interviews, and I haven't done the graphic yet, but shout out, we are the Keeg Chats with author Tim Sheridan on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you like Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, he was a writer on that. He wrote part of the DC Pride this year. He also wrote Titans Academy. I'm going to be interviewing him on a one-on-one interview next week, Tuesday, or this upcoming Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow the Keeg, whether it's finding out about the other shows we do or whatnot, follow the Keeg on social media, TikTok, Instagram, at the Keeg Show, or on, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever, at the Keeg Show / the Keeg Show. Wherever you can find the Keeg, we are out there. So, do what you want when it comes to that. The Keeg Show, pretty much everywhere. Once again, comicshoplocator.com. Find a comic shop near you. Support your local comic shops and support your local public libraries, because your libraries are also, they got comics, but even if they didn't, they deserve your support. So support everything that you can support.
And they also order for you. You can ask them.
What'd you say?
Oh.
You can also ask your library to order comics for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes they take requests. Sometimes, if they're old, mean librarians, then maybe, I don't know, maybe not.
Oh, come on. They're always nice.
I've had only good experiences with libraries. I love public libraries, so support your public libraries. That's pretty much it. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or twitch.tv/The Keeg Show, or you're listening to the podcast wherever you get podcasts from: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. We're on all of those. If you want to listen to podcasts, listen to us there. If you want to watch us live, you can find us on YouTube and Twitch. That's pretty much it. San Diego Comic-Con is coming up. I got some big announcements for that when we get a little bit closer, but San Diego Comic-Con, definitely going to be there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Superman, Fantastic Four, grab your tickets while you can, because they're selling out. It's going to be a big summer. But that's pretty much it. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you to Dark Jerf. Thank you to Claude. Thank you to everybody else who's out there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review. Help us out where you can. If it doesn't cost you anything, we would love your support. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been another episode of Comic Talk for the week of June 12th, 2025. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye.